Poppy Playtime 4. Shadows of the Factory. Ethan gasped for breath as he stood before the rusted gates of Playtime Co., his heart pounding in his chest. It had been months since his last encounter with the horrors lurking within, but the nightmares never ceased. The factory still called to him, whispering secrets in the darkness. Tonight, he would uncover the truth. The door creaked open, revealing the factory's ruined interior. The once vibrant walls were now cracked and covered in grime. Flickering lights cast eerie shadows across the floor, where broken toys lay discarded like forgotten memories. Ethan tightened his grip on his flashlight and stepped forward. A distant clatter echoed through the hallways. He turned sharply, aiming the beam of light down the corridor. Nothing, but he knew better. The factory was never truly empty. He pressed on, his footsteps echoing in the silence. The old security room was just ahead. If he could access the archives, maybe he could finally understand what really happened here. As he reached the door, a soft giggle echoed behind him. Cold dread filled his veins. Slowly, he turned around. A pair of wide, glassy eyes stared at him from the darkness. A small figure emerged, a doll-like girl with porcelain skin and golden curls. "Poppy, you came back," she whispered. "Why?" Ethan swallowed hard. "To finish what I started." Poppy tilted her head, her expression unreadable. "Then you must hurry. He is waking up." Before Ethan could ask who, a deep growl rumbled through the factory, vibrating through the walls. The air grew heavy, thick with something unseen yet suffocating. The lights above flickered wildly. Then, everything went dark. A metallic screech tore through the silence, followed by the sound of something massive shifting in the shadows. Ethan fumbled with his flashlight, its weak beam illuminating a hulking silhouette. A monstrous figure loomed in the corridor, its body stitched together from various toy parts, its jagged grin stretching across its face. Two glowing red eyes locked onto him. The prototype. Poppy grabbed Ethan's wrist. "Run!" They sprinted through the winding hallways, the factory warping around them. Doors slammed shut, machinery roared to life, and whispers crawled along the walls. The prototype was not alone. Ethan turned a corner and nearly collided with a familiar blue figure. Huggy Wuggy. But something was wrong. His body twitched unnaturally, his once friendly, if terrifying smile, now contorted in pain. He let out a low, garbled noise, as if trapped in a nightmare. "They changed him," Poppy murmured, pulling Ethan away. "They changed all of them." A new horror awaited them in the central chamber. Mommy Longlegs hung lifeless from the ceiling, her limbs tangled in thick, pulsating cables. Below her, a towering figure stood in the shadows. "You should not have returned," it rasped. Ethan raised his flashlight, revealing a new entity, an amalgamation of past experiments, its body a grotesque fusion of fur, plastic, and metal. It stepped forward, dragging its massive claws across the floor. "Your turn," it whispered. Poppy yanked Ethan toward the emergency exit, but the doors slammed shut before they could reach them. The creature lunged, and Ethan barely dodged in time. He spotted an exposed panel on the wall. If he could reroute power, maybe he could open the doors. "Keep him busy!" he shouted to Poppy. She nodded, dashing across the room, taunting the monster as Ethan worked frantically at the panel. Sparks flew as he reconnected the circuits, his hands trembling. The factory groaned around them, as if awakening from a deep slumber. "Now, Ethan!" Poppy cried. The doors burst open. Without hesitation, they ran, the creature's enraged screech echoing behind them. As they crossed the threshold, Ethan slammed the emergency lockdown switch. A deafening roar filled the air as the factory shuddered violently. The last thing Ethan saw before the doors sealed shut was the creature's glowing red eyes, burning with fury. Outside, the factory stood silent once more, its secrets locked within. Ethan exhaled, his breath visible in the cold night air. He had survived, but deep down, he knew it wasn't over. The factory was waiting, and it would call him back again.